If you look at the AAA video games of today and compare them to what you would have called AAA video games of the 1980s, it seems like we've become incredibly homogenous. There were way broader ranges of themes and gameplay and experimentations back in the 80s compared to today. Why is that? What's going on? And will this change? Ultimately, when we are developing products, and video games ultimately are products, there are effectively two things we can be doing. We can be exploring, trying to find new products, new ways to address potential consumers, and looking for new things to make. And then there is exploit, where we are using markets we've already discovered and trying to make as much money as possible. In the 80s, most games were explore games. We didn't really understand the market at all. We were just making a lot of bets. The bets were pretty small, and as a result, if one individual bet didn't do super well, then it didn't really matter. And so we got lots of different games, trying lots of different things. We weren't really even sure what a gamer even looked like. Since then, we have had different genres hit markets very strongly and establish what a gamer is. And so today, almost all AAA games are performing the action of exploit. They are spending a lot more money to address an audience that is understood a lot better to try to make a lot more money. But I would argue then in a lot of cases, what we've actually done is we found little local maximas. We found audiences that are substantial in size, the shooter audience, or we've found audiences from which we can make a lot of money, like the MMO audience. But we haven't necessarily found every audience there is available to make a game for. So when we are only, as an industry, exploiting and not exploring, then what is happening is the games start to optimize for the audiences that we understand. And if 10 games are all optimizing for the same audience, they are naturally going to start to look more and more similar because they are addressing the same audience in the same way, through the same medium, with the same price point, because they're all trying to do the best to address this one audience. But the ultimate effect of that is a commoditization of the actual product. When you go to the store and look at toothpastes, they don't look that different from each other because they aren't that different from each other. And to a large degree with AAA games sitting within an understood audience, that's what's happening. It's being commoditized. As budgets have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, the willingness to take risk has gone down and down and down. So you want this bet you've decided is going to be $150, $250 million to be as certain as possible. So you take less and less risks. But the effect of that is everything becomes more and more beige, more and more similar. And I would argue that in media, what we may be seeing over the last couple of years with a few different media properties in movies and in games, where the product is good. It is a good piece of technology that runs well on the platform at a reasonable price point, but ultimately the art is bad. It has become too homogenous. It has become impossible to differentiate it from things that have come before it. And as a result, audiences have kind of collectively gone meh to the resulting piece of theoretical art. Because in an effort to remove risk, in an effort to address as large of an audience as possible, all of the spirit, all of the art has been sanded away from the resulting product. And what you're left with is a painting with all of the right colors in approximately the right places, but there's no spirit left in the resulting game or the resulting movie. Indeed, maybe as I say this, one of the reasons why some consumers may be willing to accept generative AI may be them feeling like, to some degree, a lot of media has become soulless already. That the process of squeezing art through a commercial lens has already sanded away all of the grit, all of the soul, all of the spirit of the media they consume. So why not just have a robot create it? Because it's already lost that spark. I don't agree with that, but I can start, as I'm speaking, I can see that to some degree you could argue that, yeah, maybe that's what's being happening. Now, video games are much more than simply AAA. We have a large indie space, and indie has shown an ability to innovate and to explore and to try new things. Indeed, a lot of indie game development is explore because it's much more difficult to exploit. You can't really make a looter shooter with a team of 2 people and a $50,000 budget because you're going up against Destiny. You're going up against massive entities that are outspending you by several orders of magnitude. So just to survive, you have to explore other parts of the space. You might just be exploring a looter shooter with a couple of asterisks on it, but you're still going to be exploring the space to see what else can be done. And so what has been happening is that a lot of innovation has been coming up through indie. But I would argue that the big AAA developers should be doing this as well. They should be spending some percentage of their development budget in order to do more exploration. Even within the development of a single game, some percentage of development should be spent for exploration. Should it be 50-50? Probably not. But something should be set aside to explore new spaces, new art directions, new gameplay design, new ways of doing things and interacting with the player. Most of these are going to fail, but that's okay because once in a while you're going to come up with something new. The problem with relying only on indie to do all of the exploration is that the signal to noise ratio is very high. And as a result, you may miss that innovation for quite a long time. Additionally, there are some forms of exploration that is very difficult for indie development to do. Things that require larger infrastructure, things that you can do at large AAA developers that simply can't be done at smaller indie studios. Now, the problem, of course, with any publicly traded company is that line must go up, is that the expectation is that you make more money than you did the year before, that you're constantly in a state of growth. And the problem with exploration, the problem with these projects that may not pay off is that most of them won't pay off. So they're going to show up as cost on your balance sheet without necessarily having return. So when you're looking to save a few $1,000,000, they're going to be the first thing to go. The problem is if they're gone, then you're not exploring anymore. And if your entire business is only doing exploit, then you are inward looking. It's difficult for you to find new markets. It's difficult for you to find new players. And ultimately, what you're probably going to see over a long enough time horizon is that your share of the market starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller as other more innovative developers grow up around you. You might not sell less copies of the titles you make, but they may be growing the entire pie and you're staying the same size. And chances are, if you're not innovating at all, you're not going to stay the same size. You're actually going to get a little bit smaller, almost imperceptibly, potentially, but you're going to slowly evaporate away as some of your players stop playing games and you don't bring in new ones, or some of your players move on to new, different, more innovative games that are coming along as you're not exploring the different potential things that could exist. So I guess the long and the short of this is a warning to the big AAA developers. I know your bid budgets are huge, and I know the risk aversion is real, but if you stay in that mindset for too long, ultimately it's going to kill you. You see this with live services. Live services come into being, they explore in order to figure out what they are, then they enter into a state of exploiting, where they are making tons of money. And then if they get stuck in only exploiting, then they start to shrink and go away and collapse over time, and eventually they go away. That model, that path, is exactly what's going to happen to entire developers if they don't similarly look to find new ways of doing things. This isn't to say that you should abandon your existing audiences. It's just to say that some of your development should be spent looking at new ways of doing things, looking at new possibility spaces. If you fail to do this, ultimately, you're going to evaporate away. Ultimately, I might argue that this is one of the reasons why when studios get purchased by publishers, eventually they fade away. Because when they were independent, they had to be exploring. They were too small to sit on their laurels in most cases. They had to find new audiences. They had to look for bigger audiences. They had to make a lot of different things. They were essentially trapped in explore and unable to pivot to exploit. And then when they get purchased by a larger organization, they slowly over time shift from almost 100% explore to almost 100% exploit, and then they become derivative of themselves to some degree and eventually fade away. A lot of large organizations seem culturally incapable of doing exploration, and the way they inject innovation into their corporation is through acquisition. But this is always only a temporary injection, because unless your culture changes, all you're doing is injecting innovation that is already stale at that moment of acquisition, and then you sand it all away until it's gone, and then you have to acquire something new. Better to build that exploration, build that quest for innovation into your culture. It shouldn't be all that you're doing, but it should be some of what you're doing. A special thanks to my members. They provide the resources that this channel needs to keep running. If you're interested in becoming a member, there's a link to that down in the description. We also have a Patreon if you're more interested in supporting the channel in that way. Both channel members and patrons get access to our Discord, which is a great way to interact with this community to a deeper level. Additionally, at the higher levels, you get early access to the video. So you would have seen this video a few weeks ago at those higher levels. What do you think? Do you feel that homogeneity within media right now? Do you feel like what we're seeing is well-crafted, low risk, and as a result, to some degree, low engagement products coming out of media as a whole? Let me know your thoughts. I will see you again soon. Thank you.